Okay, so I will talk about the SSH keys for GitHub. And first we will create some SSH keys. And you will do that in a terminal. So if you're on Linux or Mac OS, you should just open a terminal like I have opened here. I am on Dardel. It does not matter where you are. You can do it on any Linux or Mac OS, including your own. So now it depends. Do you have a newer system, which I think most of you will have, probably all of you? Then you are going with option 1A here. If you have a really old system and this does not work, then you will instead use this command here. So you will use RSA encryption then. But let us go with the newer one as default. So you would do SSH minus keygen minus T and then ED 25519 and then minus C and a label. This label can be anything. It's something that's added for clarity for yourself when you check later. So if you want to use it on GitHub, you could put GitHub or you could put something else. But I'm going to go with GitHub. So I'm copying this command here and pasting it on my terminal. Then it's saying I'm now generating a public-private key pair with this encryption. Where should I put the key? And it suggests as default a directory called .ssh under your home directory. And then this ID name for the key. If you do not have other keys, then just agree to it. If you do have a key with this name, it will either overwrite or ask you if you really mean it, depending on how your system is set up. But I'm just going to go ahead and say yes, because I don't have any keys set up here on Dardel. Then it asks me to enter a passphrase. I would suggest to enter one because it's safer. If you're not going to use it a lot, then it doesn't matter and you can just use empty, but I'm going to put in a passphrase and I am repeating it. And then it tells me that the key fingerprint is this here. So that actually is what you're going to put into GitHub in a moment. The key's random art image is this, and that is also just a way of showing that it did what you asked it to do. So now we want to add the key to the SSH agent. And the SSH agent is sort of a postmaster, I guess you could call it, that is making sure that your system is aware of the key, that it exists and where it is, so that when it's being asked by the remote repository on GitHub, then your system can answer and say, hey, yes, this is my private key. Let's see if it matches your public key. So I am going to first make sure that this SSH agent is running. And it's telling me it is. It has the process ID, this here. PID is process ID. So now I'm going to add my key. If you named your key differently, then that is the name you put here instead and the path to it. But I just picked the default, so I'm going to go ahead and do this here. And when you do so, if you added a passphrase, you have now to repeat it. So I will do that. And then it tells me it is now added to the SSH agent. And that means the system now, when you are trying to connect to GitHub and do something, or wherever you are using this key here, your system knows of the key and can show the right one. So now I will change to the SSH directory, and under it it has two key parts. There's a public key and there's a private key. And you should now open the file for the public key with some editor, any editor. And if you had ID underscore RSA or whatever you named it, you should use that one. So I will open this file here. I'm opening it. I will just do cat for ID underscore and then this encryption. And here, this is the path part. I am copying the entire part, but nothing more than that. It's important that you don't copy new lines or white space or anything, but actually from the first S in SSH and to whatever label you gave it. I am now copying that. I will just quickly say if you are on Windows, then you do the same thing, but you are using git bash because you need the terminal. And in that terminal, you are running the same command as we just did here. And again, add a different label if you want to call it something different, just as long as you can recognize it. The git bash will have a terminal, a bash terminal that has the same commands included. So you can, when you have run this command here and created an SSH key, and it will be in the same place as I just showed you, then you will go ahead and again add it. First start the SSH agent and then add it to it and give the passphrase if you have given it one. Now we are going to add our SSH key to GitHub. On GitHub, you should go here to GitHub, log in, give the two-factor authentication if you have set one up. So click on your avatar here up in the corner, go down and pick settings. So then you see your public profile. And over here in the left menu, you go to SSH and GPG keys and click that. And here I have a bunch of keys that I have set up. And I am going to say that I want a new SSH key. You may or may not have anything here, depends on if you have set any SSH keys up. I have set up for various of my computers. So I click new SSH key and then I call it something. I'm going to say Dardel because that is the computer I have this key on. And then you can pick here, it should be authentication key. On the key here, I will paste what I just copied over here, the content of .ssh id underscore ed 25519.pub, the public key. I have it here. I say add SSH key. And since this is a security important thing for GitHub, then I am going to have to confirm access. And it's done in different ways depending on how you set it up. I have GitHub Mobile set up, so I have to confirm through that. Otherwise, it might be other ways of two-factor authentication. So I will go in to my GitHub Mobile and approve. You may have set up regular two-factor authentication, and then you will have to give that code. And now you can see here it was added. And it also tells me I never used it because I just added it. But it's added now. And now we will go back and then we will test it. So again, in our terminal or git bash, we will try and give this command here. Remember to ignore the prompt. Copy and paste here. And then it tells me the authenticity of the host cannot be established. That's fine because it doesn't know it yet. And then it also says this is the key fingerprint. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? I am saying yes. And then it tells me that it now added github.com to the list of known hosts. And then also it gave me the very important message here, which was hi, username. You have successfully authenticated, but GitHub does not provide shell access. That's great. That's what you wanted. Because this means if you see your username here when you do this, that means that you have actually successfully set up SSH keys, and you can now communicate back and forth with GitHub, pushing and pulling things there with the SSH. And that also means that when you are getting stuff from a repo that you are a member of, then you are using this here .ssh, this SSH here to clone with, and not this one, because this one is for anonymous access. You cannot push to it. If you're using this one, you can push to it, but it's only if you're a member of it. So you couldn't do it to this one here because that's for the course. But tomorrow, when you set up a repo that you're working in together with your colleagues, then you will use SSH command here when you are cloning it and such, so that you will be able to push and pull with authentication. Okay, that is all I wanted to say.